Okay, I'm here with Pat Martin from the National Center of School Counseling Advocacy with the College Board. And Pat, could you talk to us about how school counselors could advocate for themselves?
Yes. I am from the National Office for School Counselor Advocacy, and if you break those words down, I am working to figure out a way for school counselors to know how to advocate for themselves and their students, but to do so with accountability measures and to be paid attention to on the national landscape about the value of what they bring to a school.
Okay, and today we were talking about forming a good relationship with your principal in your school building. Can you give us maybe a couple techniques on how to do that, how to have a good relationship with your principal?
We've had a lot of counselors come to our advocacy center and talk to us about that being one of the big issues in counseling today. They feel that there is just not an agreement with between principals and counselors about how to use them in the school and how to be most effective in that use. And the big issue that comes up often is the business of doing non-counseling duties, duties that it doesn't take a master's degree counselor to perform. And we have begun to say and to teach school counselors that those kind of things don't just automatically disappear off your plate. Once you own them, for whatever reason they were assigned to you, you are the person in that building that people expect to keep that duty. And if you're going to give up any of those non-counseling duties, not that you wouldn't just give them up if they asked you, but if you want them taken off your plate in favor of more counselor-related duties, you're going to show that you have to be able to show very concretely that you have value in something that is more important than what they think those things are. Having once served as a principal myself, I know that principals need every free hand they have in buildings to manage buildings and to manage all the students, parents, and issues that come up. So I don't think your counselors are maliciously assigned non-counseling duties. But if I don't actually know what value you bring, and if that value is not a value that I have a high need for, I can see very well that a job needs to be done and give it to a school counselor to have it done. And so I hear a lot about testing now. I don't want to be the test coordinator. I don't want to be the person counting the tests. I don't want to be the person sharpening the pencils. And really, you don't need to be a counselor to do those kind of things. You don't even need any training to count pencils and sharpen them. But a lot of people have those kind of duties that they do right now. So to get them off their plate, you have to show what it is that you can do. And you have to be able to not talk about it, but you got to be able to show some accountability measures for performance. So it's about performance and being able to prove that you did something that is of value. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about this academic success and counselors being involved in changing outcomes for students who have never changed before.
Okay. And we're excited to have you here in Pennsylvania and at the state conference. And I know a lot of people look up to you in the work that you do. Can you talk about someone who maybe was heavily influential to you or someone you admire or look up to?
You know, when you asked that question, the first thing that came to my mind was, it's not even an educator, it's my father. My father was a person who believed that all of his children were stars. And I was his educator star, because I was the one who was the reader and thought school was a really important thing. And he would always tell me as a little kid that you are very, very smart and you can do anything you want to do. Don't ever listen to anybody who says that you can't. So I go through life saying, anybody who says I can't do something, I say, get out of my way, let me show you how I can, because my dad told me. And one of the things he said was that, I know that you have a big brain because you have sparkling eyes. Mm-hmm. And he said, I can always see the brain through the eyes, and I know that you're not dull at all. And my father had a sixth grade education, so he was not an educator at all. But it was his belief in the power of knowing that you're okay and that you can do what you want to do if you persist that I think is a great thing. And then I had a great counselor supervisor when I was a practitioner. Her name was Dorothy Harvey. She's deceased now. But Dorothy was like the supervisor of counselors in Prince George's County, Maryland. And she was a woman who took no prisoners. She never took no for an answer. It was like if the system said the counselors couldn't do it, Dorothy figured out a way how the whole system's counselors could do whatever she thought they ought to do. And she was a very smart woman. And so when I took her job after she left and I became her, it was like she'd already set the pattern that counselors were okay and they could move and they could do. And do not think that we were going to sit back and watch education go by. Counselors were going to be very involved. And so that's kind of the way I've done my job over the years, no matter what job people give me, is that if you know where you're going, don't let people stop you from getting there. They may detour you, they may slow you down, but keep knowing where you're going. Know the point where you're trying to reach and keep trying to get there.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the work that you do for school counselors across the United States, and thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And we hope that you can come back soon.
Thank you.